Hey guys, my name is Michael, and I swear to God, if I hear that BK Whopper jingle or even see it one more time, I'm going to punch a hole in my wall, specifically right there. Why? So I can fill in that empty space. Thank you very much. Okay, on with the video. So, usually I don't go into a video unplanned, unscripted, without having a idea or just planning it out like I said. Like with the Ant-Man video, I planned when I wanted to go see it, planned when a good date was with my friend to go over to his place, to go over to the theater to see it, and then script how I want to talk about it. But seeing I've only posted 2 videos so far, what does it mean for me to say usually, normally, like I made a couple videos? Like, no. But the reason I want to talk about this is I remember hearing rumors about this being a potential live action remake, and then I saw a video by Schaefer Productions who actually made a video talking about how they're going to do it, and then now seeing Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson post a video to Instagram saying, oh yeah, we're going to do this. A few words came into my head when I heard this announcement. Was really, why, and pointless. And before I go on, I should probably say that most of my points is just going to be what Schaefer talked about in his video. So just want to say that I will word it differently, like put my input, put my opinions in, of course, to, stand out. And so it's not just like a copy and paste. Something that I also want to point out is when I went on Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's Instagram page, because I follow him. Why not? Come on. You see like the first few comments all verified, and they're just like, oh yes, like, like hyping it up, like yes, a live action remake. This is what we wanted. This is what we wanted. And then you see like the non-verified accounts being like, why are we doing this? This kind of feels dumb at the moment. I could definitely see them making a live action remake of this couple years from now, more years from now, but not now. I'm confused on why now they thought was a good time to release it. And I should probably also, just explain for those who have never heard of live action Disney remakes for some reason, or have just never watched them. Basically, it's just taking the Disney animated movies from what was the Renaissance Disney era, and then just putting it into live action, for a new generation to see it and, watch it. But there's an argument that is made against these, is that it's dumb, it's pointless. You literally have Disney Plus. Instead of just wasting time on making projects that have already been made and not just making original ideas. Because we know that if it's original idea and it doesn't do well, then they kind of just like scrap that and they just take a little hiatus on original ideas. But if it does good, they're going to milk the tit out of that cow. So before, like when they actually started to put the time and money into making live action Disney remakes, they actually started back in 1994 with the Jungle Book. They also did one of 101 Dalmatians. They did one of the Jungle Book again for some reason. And they did one of the 101 Dalmatians, but this time it's 102. 102 Dalmatians was made in 2000, but we wouldn't see another one until 10 years later in 2010 with Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland. It wasn't the same Alice in Wonderland from the 1951 version. It had its difference and it was able to stand out, and not just be like, why would I want to watch this? I could just watch the old one instead. Fast forward 4 more years into 2014, we have Maleficent. I did not like this movie. And after that, seeing the success that Alice in Wonderland and Maleficent had, that's when they knew to just go into go time and just put all the time and money into these projects. After that, you got Cinderella, Jungle Book, Alice 2. After that, you got Beauty and the Beast, Christopher Robin, Dumbo, which Danny DeVito, baby. Danny DeVito in the Dumbo movie. That was the best part, actually. Then you got Aladdin, Lion King, Maleficent 2, which I hated too. Maleficent 2, more like I too disliked this movie. It was not good either. Lady and the Tramp, Mulan, Cruella, Pinocchio. And then you get to the 2 that are coming out this year, which is Peter Pan and Wendy and The Little Mermaid. Even with this criticism and dislike and review bombs these movies get, they do make money. Lion King and Aladdin both made $1 billion in the box office. But yeah, let's get back to Moana. Moana is going to be made into a live action film. Now I'm going to bring up the years of when the original Disney animated films were released, and then we'll go back to Moana. So if we look at the old animated films that were released that were then made into live action, we have The Jungle Book, 1967. You got 101 Dalmatians, 1961. Alice in Wonderland, 1951. Cinderella, 1950. Dumbo, 1941. Aladdin, 1992. Sleeping Beauty, 1959. Lady and the Tramp, 1955. Mulan, 1998. 101 Dalmatians, 1961. Pinocchio, 1940. And then we get to some that are not released just yet but are coming soon. Lilo and Stitch, 2002. Tinkerbell. And no, we're not talking about Peter Pan. We're talking about this film, Tinkerbell. So we look at it, Tinkerbell is the most recent one from the past year, being from 2008, which is actually 15 years ago. Before that, you get Lilo and Stitch, which is 2002. That is 21 years from now. The films that I mentioned that were in the 20th century are at least 25 plus years old. Then you get to Moana. Moana was made in 2016. That's 7 years ago. It feels too recent to make a live action remake for Moana. If I'm correct, seeing the upcoming films that are going to be made into live action remakes, Moana is the first 3D animated film that is going to be made into live action. I do see them making a live action Moana if it was like a couple more years later down into the future, but now it just feels a bit too early. It just feels too early. I should probably preface that the dates for when the Tinkerbell and the Lilo and Stitch movie have not been announced yet. They are still to be determined. So they'll still get old with time. But say the Moana movie, if it's already being in the works, it comes out 3 years later. It comes out in 2026, maybe 2027. That's like 10 to 11 years old now. It just feels too recent to have a live action remake of it be released already. Like, Moana was made when I was still in middle school. I'm already an adult. I'm in my 20s now. So I'll probably be in my mid 20s by the time this film comes out. But the kids that did grow up to this in elementary school probably will be either in high school or graduating high school. So that's one of the points. It just feels too soon. It just feels too soon to come out. The next point is a bit controversial surrounding Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So from what I've heard, Dwayne is known to be pretty egotistical. He likes his ego stroked. So here's the weird coincidence about it. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was in this DC film. I don't know if you heard of it or seen the abundance of trailers promoting it. It's called Black Adam. He hyped the hell out of this film. He made sure, if you were following him, that it was all that you saw on your feed. Now, it's a film that I haven't seen, so I can't give my opinion if I did or did not like it. So instead, I'm going to just tell you that the people who did see it thought it wasn't as good. It was, hearing from other people, it was kind of just like a generic superhero film. Bombed in the box office, bombed critically, and they're not making a second one because James Gunn, I don't know if you know him, he did the Guardians of the Galaxy movies for Marvel. He's also doing the third one right now before he leaves to do the DCEU, and he's gonna be he's basically in charge of it now. And James Gunn, he likes to make good movies. James Gunn kind of axed any more films with Black Adam, and Dwayne made it public, on Instagram, of course, being like, hey, we're not going to be doing this no more. And now we get to the weird part about it. It wasn't Disney who announced this first. It wasn't Moana, like the official Moana Instagram account that announced this. It was The Rock. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson announced this first. He made it known, which is very strange, don't you think? And he didn't announce this as like a sequel to Moana 1. You're like, this isn't Moana 2. No, this is the live action remake to the 2016 Moana. For some reason, they're not just making a second one, maybe because Maui the Rock Johnson would not be in the second one. I most likely do think that Maui wouldn't have a big or significant role in the film, or just wouldn't be in it at all. And what's even more weird is that he's actually coming back. And now we get into the third critique, which is kind of linked to the second one, which is the casting. The Rock is coming back as Maui, and the actress that played Moana is potentially coming back as Moana. If not, though, she is going to be working behind the scenes, though. As to the rest of the cast that was in the animated version of it, I do not know if they're also reprising the roles. I don't know if Tamara Morrison's going to reprise his role as the chief. I don't know if Rachel House is going to reprise her role as Grandma Tella. I definitely don't know about Jermaine Clement reprising his role as Tamatoa, which is now going into my fourth part, the animated part. We have this one question surrounding it. Are they going to keep, or are they going to delete Tamatoa? Tamatoa was really the main cartoonish part of the film, and they could either go around of keeping it, but I doubt they're going to take this cartoon character and make it into a cartoonish style in live action like they did with Sonic the Hedgehog. They're probably just going to do what they did with Sebastian in the live action Little Mermaid movie and just make it look uncanny as hell. Just ruin it. Just fucking botch it. I'm also kind of worried about how they're going to do other characters. Like, I'm worried how they're also going to do the other cartoonish characters, like the funny chicken guy. Remember that little funny chicken that Maui wanted to eat? Wonder if they're going to keep that, or it's just going to be a regular ass chicken. I don't know how they're really going to do the ocean, because it was kind of a character. It had personality. I don't know if they're going to just kind of remove the color, the personality the film did give the ocean. I don't know how Te-Fiti, corrupted, and regular Te-Fiti will look like in the film. I don't know how those little coconut guys are also going to be portrayed in the film as well, how they're going to look. Surprise round. I'm actually have a fifth point. What are they going to do to make it seem different or stand out compared to the original Moana film? And that comes back to either adding or taking away certain things, maybe making it darker, maybe making it happier, which then harks back to just, why not just make a second Moana film? Why not make a Moana sequel, or just make an original Polynesian film? And most of the time when they add or take away some things without completely just overhauling it and redoing it, like the Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland, it for the most part does not go well. For an example of a film adding something and not being received well, let's look at Aladdin with the dance ball scene, dinner scene, where Aladdin just busts out a fat Fortnite dance and just starts trying to show off for some reason. There's also where they added 2 songs for Jasmine that seemed kind of pointless, and for people with that nostalgia, they'll just be like, why is this in the film? And for taking away, look at Mulan. Like I said, they took out Shang and they took out all the songs. They literally just said the lines. I hate that fucking movie. God damn it. I hate it. It sucks. It's a bad movie. Bad Mulan movie. That's about it. To recap, it just feels too early for this film to have a remake already. The events surrounding Dwayne The Rock Johnson is an odd coincidence. It's also odd that they brought The Rock back as Maui. It's also going to be weird how they're going to handle the animated cartoonish parts of Moana. And it's also going to be weird if they're going to add or take away something. Because like I said, it just feels too early and it doesn't have that much of nostalgia. It's a nice, good, fun movie. And of course, it wasn't really there for my childhood as a kid. Like I said, I was in middle school when this film come out. But for the kids that are now basically in high school now, or close to graduating, it doesn't have the nostalgia compared to, like I said, Lion King or Aladdin, who everybody was either who have kids at that time, or at least is an adult. So yeah, that's basically it. I doubt I'm going to see this movie. Maybe I will. It depends on if I have someone to see this with, or it actually exceeds expectation and does well or better than expected. I may go see it. But yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Do you agree or disagree with some of the points I had in this video? Please let me know in the comments below. And now if you excuse me, I'm going to... What am I going to do? I'm going to go to work. I actually have to go to work now. But after that, I'm going to go watch the animated Disney films with a big goofy hat. This goofy hat, actually. Maybe some R2-D2 Mickey Mouse ears. Who knows? Maybe I'll get crazy and bust out the Pluto hat. This hat is very uncomfortable for my head. I can feel the circulation in my head stopping. But yeah, that's basically it. Bye.